Back live in Houston, Texas. Welcome back to the Southland Conference Football Media Days presented by Levy Recognition and Ready, Southwest Houston area. We're live from the Hilton Post Oak once again for another year as we get you ready for a new football season coming up. Many teams will open camp soon, and of course opening week's just around the corner in early September. All right, we're moving along now as we hear from each and every school in the Southland Conference. Right now, let's move on to the McNeese Cowboys. Take a look.
History has always been made at McNeese, and we've experienced some history of our own this past year. From hiring our first African-American head coach, to COVID forcing us to postpone our season to spring, to the devastation caused by Hurricanes Laura and Delta.
We will be back to our winning ways sooner than later.
We've grinded, persevered, and fought. We've grown. Conquered. And come together, united as one. Through it all, we are relentless. We haven't played football in over 450 days while patiently watching other schools compete. But now, it's our time.
Cowboys, take a look by the numbers here. Head coach Frank Wilson back for a second season in Lake Charles. Starters returning. They've got 21 coming back, 10 on offense, 8 defensively, 3 special teams. Last year, 3-4, 2-4 in the Southland Conference. They get set to open the season September 4th against West Florida. Conference opener coming up in late September against UIW as well. All right, welcome back now as we continue on a look at the Cowboys. We're going to hear now from the head coach, Frank Wilson. Coach, good to see you again. I had a chance to cover several of your ball games last year, and you guys have been through a lot to play football. I know we'll get in a little bit. I know you will as well, but good to have you here. I know you're excited about a new season about to start.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here and awfully excited about this upcoming season. Been a long time coming, man. We're anxious to be able to play a season with purpose and opportunity to compete for conference championships, and our kids have worked diligently to position themselves. Our staff has worked extremely hard. Our community is excited, and we couldn't be more excited about what's about to happen.
Talk about, if you can, this going through the spring season, adjusting to that, the short summer to get ready for a new year. As a coach, as a staff, what'd you go through?
For us, it was a big deal. As a conference, we didn't play until the spring, but for us particularly, we could not do anything even in the fall. So even while teams were playing in a game situation or teams were training, we were in a unique situation where some of our guys were in shelters, some of our guys were in their cars and living with family and friends all over Southwest Louisiana and beyond. And so when we got a chance to get back together after the Christmas break, it was gratifying. It was something that we didn't take for granted because we were without for so long. So the spring season for us was a huge burden off of our shoulders to be able to go back into our stadium, to give our community some sigh of relief, some resemblance of normalcy was big for us. And we went out, we competed to the best of our ability, like the way we finished the back end of the season, but hopefully we can catapult that into this upcoming fall.
Yeah, if you can, just a little bit more on just what you guys went through off the field. I mean, 4 natural disasters in your area. I mean, you guys were affected not only as an institution, as a program, Lake Charles community. Talk about what all went through that, and how the community rallied together, and how you guys as a school stepped up for the community as well.
Yeah, so in early September, we were hit by Hurricane Laura, which was tremendous devastation with winds that blew roofs off of houses and really devastated us. And only several weeks later, 6 weeks later, Hurricane Delta and all the damage that Laura had done from a wind standpoint was now exposed from a rain standpoint as homes were invaded by Mother Nature because they were exposed because they had no roofs and things of that nature, which made things even more dismal. We were able to get our footing sometime in January back, and then in February we had an unusual ice storm. And so we were, the pipes that were just fixed, the lighting that was just fixed were then burst as this ice storm, the first in as long as I can remember, had ever happened in Louisiana. And so it set us back again. There was no heat in our building or our facility, so we were back out, if you will, not even as a tenant in our own building. And then several weeks later, one more time, we had a big rainstorm that took our field back underwater and flooded homes that were just remodeled, refurbished, cars floated away. And it was a challenging time, but, you know, I do believe it brought us closer together. We grew stronger because of it, and the family that we have now is closer than ever before.
How did that challenge you coming into the program to take over, dealing with all that?
Yeah.
That would have been the fall, would have been your first season. You had to wait till the spring. But what about the challenges for you and your staff and the players, for that matter, with all that going on? How difficult was it to keep everybody focused and together?
Yeah, probably in my 20-plus years as a coach, the toughest job that I had to endure. And that was giving light at the end of the tunnel for our student athlete and being optimistic and being encouraging so that they know that we will prevail and there'll be light at the end of the tunnel. And it just at one point seemed after one thing, something else happened. But then we got our footing underneath us. And so spring football couldn't have come at a better time for us when it did. And then we began to have success as a football program, and it was nothing was more evident about what our student athletes were doing in the classroom. They continue to soar. We continue to get better, and we played our best football at the back end of the season. We came closer together than ever before, and it was something. You know, sometimes you hear people say God works in mysterious ways, and what He did with our football family was truly a blessing.
All right, tell the folks about what happened since the season ended. How do you feel about your team right now? Any changes that folks at home watching want to hear about?
Yeah, so at the conclusion of our season, we took some time off. We just took a step back and a sigh of relief of what we had just encountered and what had just happened. And it was perfect because it gave us a time to heal, to lick our wounds, to again put things in perspective and give outlook of what will be upcoming for us. And so we took several weeks off and then got back together the beginning of June and started an 8-week regiment of what we call our football school curriculum of strength and conditioning and speed enhancement, as well as football and summer school for our student athletes as well. We've come out of it even better, academically continue to ascend. Bigger, faster, and stronger than what we were a year ago or at this time. You know, you take a guy like Cody Ogeron, who's here today with us. I was looking at our numbers. He was 177 a year ago at this time, and now he's pushing 200 pounds. You know, that's a big jump for our football team, and as an average in the weight room, in good weight, in speed, bigger, faster, and stronger than we've ever been. So I thought the summer was outstanding for us. We're going to take a little break here after going 8 straight weeks and then come back the 1st of August to prepare for our fall camp.
You guys won, I believe, 2 out of your last 3 to end the season. What did that mean as far as the progress that you saw out of your football team to bring into the offseason? Yeah,
a tremendous amount of encouragement for us. You know, we played a good game against the national champs in Sam Houston, and I thought at times we had chances. We were in position to be able to to possibly win that game and to go toe-to-toe with that opponent who you went on to see win it all was a testament of how far we had come in the accomplishments and strides that we had made. Was not content with finishing second in that game, but was very pleased with the progress we made as a football team. I think if we can pick up where we left off, we'll have a chance to be a quality team this fall.
What some of the coaches have already hit on it today, and I'm interested to get your opinion. Having a national champion come out of the Southland Conference, what does that mean for you guys moving forward? What do you take from that as a conference and programs within moving forward?
Yeah, that it can be done, that it has been done, and that we play at an elite level, that we have coaches that coach at an elite level in the Southland Conference. I think the Southland Conference is second to none. You look at the progress we've made as a conference. You look at the teams and how competitive we are with one another. It could happen any any Saturday for any team in our conference as we get ready to compete against one another. And I think it bodes well from presidents to athletic directors to head coaches to student athlete, assistant coaches of the quality throughout our conference.
When you look back at the season just completed, when you entered the off season, what were areas that as a staff you guys said, okay, we need to improve in this area? What are a couple of areas that you guys have locked in on?
You know, I think that's where we made our greatest strides. We signed 6 offensive linemen. We signed 4 high school guys and 2 transfer guys that we think will come in and give us immediate help out of the portal. We got bigger. We needed more length. We needed more strength. So we went out and we adhered to the needs of our football team. We needed more weapons at the receiver position. We signed 4 different guys there, as well as a transfer that's on our football team. We needed more quality depth at the tailback position. We went out and got one out of the transfer portal who will compete for the starting job this year. We needed to continue to get quality depth in our secondary. We signed 6 defensive backs with our signing class. Got a transfer linebacker from Oregon that'll help us at that position, and a position that I thought was our strength was our defensive line, and we've added to that interiorly to get us stronger there as well.
Got time for a few questions before we toss it over to Maddie. If you have a question for Coach Wilson, raise your hand. We'll bring it to you. We'll start with Richard Dean.
Richard Dean of the Houston Chronicle. Hey, Coach.
Hey, Rich.
You've touched on quite a bit of subjects, and you went through a lot of stuff with the program. You're going to be your second year of the coach and everything. Yeah. One thing we've seen in the Southland over the years is teams that are picked in middle of the pack end up winning the conference. Mm-hmm. It happens all the time. And I see where you're picked 4th this year. What is the ceiling? How good can this team be this year?
We're picked 4th? Yeah, I didn't even know that. Thanks for telling me. What was your question with us being picked?
What's the ceiling of your team this year?
Yeah, you know, I don't think we have one. I think the sky's the limit. I think there's a lot of room for improvement for our football team. I don't want to limit us. There is no glass ceiling that we top out at, per se. For years, it's been an opportunity to win the conference championship. I really believe the conference champion out of the Southland Conference has a chance to win the national championship. And we want to put ourselves in position to be able to hoist that trophy at the very end. And so our short-term goal is to position ourselves to win the Southland Conference. Ultimately, we feel the person who wins the Southland Conference has a legitimate chance of winning the national championship.
Coach Robert Kelly, Tech Sport Publications. With all the devastation you've had, I've been over there quite a bit to cover your football, basketball, various games. How are your players holding up with all this? I mean, this is not a normal season for anybody, and I understand you're going to have more disadvantages with facilities and that going into this season. How are the players and your support staff holding up to all of this?
Good. You know, here's what we said to our team in the midst of all of that. Those who stay will be champions. Win when we're good enough. And I think we're close already. And even in a spring season that was short, that started with a practice session in January and began a season in February, for us, it was important to recognize that the spring season for us would catapult us to play our best football this upcoming fall. And so I think when you put it in that perspective, It gave light at the end of the tunnel, if you will. And, and we had quite a bit, when we took the job, quite a bit of kids left, but we recruited well. Then at the end, we had a couple more went into the portal, and we recruited well. And so for every guy that left, we replaced with an all-conference cornerback, an all-conference defensive end, an all-conference wide receiver. And so where we lost guys at, we upgraded our football team. And I think that's important to do, that if you lose someone, you go out and you put someone in position that can do the job better than that was even described for the prior. And we were able to do that. I think as a coaching staff, that's important. We lost our defensive coordinator the week of our first game. He's now with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And they could have easily just knocked our socks off. We regrouped. We regained our composure and finished with one of the better defenses at the back end of the season in the Southland Conference, and boasted several all-conference guys with that unit. And I think that speaks to the resiliency of student-athlete. I think that speaks to the resiliency of coaching staff to overcome any adversity that has been tossed our way. Thank you.
Any other questions? I want to ask you one before we toss it over. Oh, we have another one? I'm sorry. Go ahead. You have a mic?
Yeah, for us, I think that the chemistry that's been developed this summer that will continue to go into play this upcoming fall camp, those two preseason games or scrimmages, if you will determine that. We'll do the things that gives us every advantage, and we're not, again, having any ceiling. There's nothing out of the question, whether it's 2 quarterbacks in a game, 3 running backs in a game, whatever it takes to win, we're going to do. And so we'll take advantage of those things on a weekly basis. I don't think long-term I can say these are the things we're going to do. It'll be based on the health of our team, the skill of our team, and those advantages we can take against various opponents.
Got a couple of good ones right here to your left. We're about to hear from, these are 2 leaders for you. You've got on the defensive side, you got Isaiah, and of course Cody as well. What does that mean to have these guys representing McNeese today?
They embody what we look for. They're here today because they represent McNeese football as student athletes on the field, off the field, within the community. When we describe this is our culture, these are the things that are important to us. These young men represent us, and they represent me. They represent McNeese football, and awful proud to have them to stay with us and to be here on this day to represent us.
All right, we'll come back with Coach in just a moment, talk about the schedule. Right now, let's toss it over to Maddie Morris. We'll hear from the 2 Cowboys players. Maddie?
Thank you so much, Randy. As Coach mentioned, we are joined by quarterback Cody Orgeron and defensive lineman Isaiah Chambers, both grad students, both here for their last and final year with the McNeese Cowboys. Isaiah, for you, this is actually just your 2nd year playing with the Cowboys, last year being your first. You came out with a bang, consensus All-American. How are you looking to individually build on that, but then also help your team continue to grow as a defensive unit?
I feel like me playing good is going to help the team, and I got All-American, consensus All-American, but it's still some more awards I can get, so I got to play better and do better, I feel like.
Cody, on the opposite end for you, you've been with McNeese for quite some time, a lot of experience. Right. This year, you return a lot of experience from last year's team, 95% of your guys' offensive output. What kind of confidence does that give you going into the season, knowing you have people who you've played together and you've made connections with?
Yeah, utmost confidence. That spring season was really a blessing for us, so we could really build that chemistry and camaraderie and have that momentum going into the fall. And, throughout the summer, throwing routes, extra routes, staying after workouts, and really just building that chemistry, just utmost confidence going into the fall.
Isaiah, Coach was talking about it earlier. Everyone is aware of the situation that you guys had last year dealing with the Hurricanes. How do you feel like your guys' team was able to be a beacon of hope for that Lake Charles community, being able to play last spring, but then again going into this fall?
Yeah, I feel like Lake Charles definitely seen some sad days, but football kind of brought us together. The games was actually free for our fans to go to, so it was just cool to just come together and watch us play football and do something that we love.
And then Cody, for you, as we mentioned, you've been at McNeese for a handful of years. I can only imagine that just seeing how that affected the community and being able to be that light of hope for the community. How did you see, you as specifically the quarterback, be able to kind of rally the community and get people on board with, having hope and looking towards the future?
Yeah, we want to bring a conference championship back to Lake Charles strictly for the city. Everything we've been through and stuff, but it really shows how resilient this community is. And, we're really just playing for the people of Lake Charles. They're great fans, great support system, so we really just want to bring a conference championship back to them.
We were talking about this a little earlier when we sat down. First game of the season, September 4th, but the week later, we have a very interesting matchup, especially for you, Cody. What are you most looking forward to about that battle against LSU and your father?
It's just really, it's a blessing. I'm blessed to be in this position. Opportunities like that really don't come around often, so really just capitalizing on that opportunity, put on a performance that day, and I know it's going to be a hostile environment, so I'm just prepping myself now mentally and stuff so I can go in there and play fast, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Isaiah, for you, you were new to the team last year, but obviously a huge contributor. How are you a leader, and how are you stepping up to have, whether it's younger guys or even guys who have been there before, kind of rally around you and fight and keep getting better?
Yeah, I just always stay positive, and I like to lead by example, so I just don't talk much, but I just do the work and just work hard and show them you work hard, the stuff that you can get and how good of a player you can be.
Cody, for you, as we keep mentioning, you've been here for a handful of years.
Right.
Coach Wilson, last year was his first year under the helm. How have you seen his vision and his offense kind of come to light with what he's been able to do for the offense?
Oh, it's been awesome. Like I said, those 7 games in the spring was really a blessing, so we could really get a feel for each other, what he likes, certain calls on certain downs, but, I'm starting to really master the playbook, and we're on the same page, so, I really know what play in advance, so I really know what play's coming on what call, and, just being on the same page and executing and, what they're looking for, just so I can deliver and execute.
Well, we are keeping you guys, the entire Lake Charles community, in our thoughts and prayers as you continue to rebuild and start this upcoming season. We wish you the best of luck, and now we'll turn it back over to Randy for a couple more questions for Coach.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys. Thank you, Matty. Appreciate it. Good to hear from them as well. Looking forward to watching them play this fall. Coach, as we wrap it up, let's talk about your schedule now, taking a look at it. And you open at home there with West Florida, and then you play 4 of your next 7 on the road. Quite the challenge. Let's talk about the home opener and then, of course, the second ball game at LSU.
Yeah, the home opener against West Florida, who Division II national champions in 2019. Outstanding football program, skilled all over the place. We'll have our work cut out for us. They didn't play this fall or spring, but they continue to recruit well. They're a very talented football team. We're excited about the opportunity to open up in a hole, to play in front of our home crowd and to perform well. Week 2, we get a chance to get on the road and go to Baton Rouge, and a place that we're very familiar with. I'm very familiar with some great times that I've had there for the 7 seasons I was there at LSU. Certainly my relationship with Coach Orgeron is one that's not a mystery, a mentor, a friend that I have tremendous amount of respect and love for, and certainly the commonology of he and Cody, father, son.
That's going to get a little bit of attention, I think, right?
Yeah, it'll be fun. We're very grateful for the opportunity to go there and compete in Death Valley. We're going to go play. We're going to go play. We're going to go put on to the best of our ability, and we'll let the chips fall where they may, but we're going to shoot our bullets.
Last question on the schedule. All the coaches have kind of hit on it. The doubleheaders, so to speak. You'll be playing Southeastern, Northwestern State, UIW twice. Yeah. What do you think about the format? As Coach Laird, I believe, mentioned, hey, it doesn't matter who you're playing in this conference, you better be ready.
Right. It mimics that of the National Football League, which is a good thing. In the National Football League, your conference opponent, you play twice a year. We get a chance to experience that as a collegiate program in this upcoming season. So it's something unique, but we're prepared to adapt to it, and something we look forward to. It's difficult to beat a team twice. And so you just want to be steady and consistent as possible, but you'll have to probably be a little unique in game planning and schemes, because that makes that team knows you just that much better in both areas, for them and for us as well. So I think it'll be challenging, but it'll be fun, and I look forward to it.
All right. Great to see you again, Coach. Best of luck this season. You guys are getting close to camp in the new season. I know you're excited about it.
We are awfully excited about it. Thank you so much. Thanks for having us. Southland strong, baby.
Yeah. Safe travels back to Lake Charles. Head coach Frank Wilson. All right, we're going to take a break here on the Southland Conference Football Media Days presented by Levy Recognition and Ready. Coming up, we're going to hear from the Cardinals from UIW, their head coach and players straight ahead. Stick around.